the Arctic is a very quiet place because of the snow and because there's not so much happening. But the sea ice being something constantly moving, or the glacier fronts as well, sometimes you have like those crack and movement. It feels like power. When you are in nature, you feel tiny, but you also feel at your place. You feel content because this is initially where we come from. My name is FlorianLedoux. I'm a French cameraman and photographer, but most importantly, I'm in love with nature, and that's the base of everything. I wasn't really made for school, so I ended up doing some technical studies and quickly being in the Navy. I wanted to travel, I wanted to go towards the north because that was like a wild nature. And when I had enough experience, I kind of applied in the Navy to become a photographer and cameraman. Did 4 more years like this in the Navy and suddenly quit everything to go on a journey on a sailboat from Greenland to North Canada. Living for the big adventure in life and taking a sharp turn was a bit scary, of course. And I remember that day when I packed everything in a car and moved everything, all the boxes, back to my mom place. I was going through so many different phases of emotions. So I was crying of joy, I was crying because I was scared, I was smiling, I was full of euphoria. It was such a weird moment, but it was so intense and I loved it. And then since I jumped on the sailboat, I never regretted it. It was the best thing ever that I could have done in my life. I remember seeing iceberg for the first time in my life. I was in wow, these blue colors. It's fascinating, and also the ice is never the same, so I can play with the same place every day. It will be different because the ice moves, you have cracks, things opening, water coming up, the snow change, and then you add some wildlife on top of it, and then it's magic, Some people will say that I might be an artist, but I'm not. Nature is the artist. There is one photo that I took in Canada when I quit the Navy that changed the rest of my life. The place was just incredible. There was like those blue melting pond everywhere on the big piece of ice. And then I got a bit closer and closer and I managed to get this shot of the bear crossing the ice. And then I remember the first thing I did, I put the card in a laptop and I went straight on this moment to see if I got the right moment where he's really doing the leap over the ice like this with the 2 paws. And yeah, then I was in a box and I was like, wow. And after that, it's just been like a snowball. You try to be minimalist on the ice, quiet, and then suddenly, you come back to society and you go viral or be seen by a lot of people, a publication in National Geographic to something else and something else, bigger and bigger until, today. It can be overwhelming at the beginning, yeah. But at the same time, it's a nice reward to see that you can actually reach people and hopefully make a change with images. I moved to Tromsø in 2018. It's a good hub for me. It's like the Arctic capital. And one thing that I felt immediately when I came here is that I belong to a community that understands me. That was such a relief somehow to feel you belong somewhere. I can go a lot in the mountain and stay fit and keep your resistance to the cold and train for that. I can fly the drone easily or do things without my gloves up to minus 15 degrees. Sometimes for some project, they tried some stuff where we had a box that was heated. But I never really liked all these kind of things that you add up because then it takes more time to get ready. And when there's the action, I need to get filming as quick as possible. Then there is another part of the training that it's not physical, but it's more like the technical part where like last week we went up on a glacier, making sure this is not something natural for you to be in this ecosystem and environment. We always need to be on alert when we walk out there, and you need to be sure that you don't miss the moment. But that's also by spending so much time out there, you understand when things will happen. So just before it happened, I pressed record because I knew it would happen. So it's about reading the ice, reading the animals, the weather, and then you can make sure you don't miss the moment. That's how you kind of get ready and get it. We work with small pods, which is very practical. We pull them behind the snowmobile. So the pods are like 1.30 m wide, so like 2 sleeping mats. There's a bit of a room at the back, so you can have the heating system and the laptops and some equipment. Even after a long session where, let's say, we are totally destroyed after 24 or 36 hours without sleeping, when you get something unique, you return in the pods and you just put the footage or the photos on a computer and just look at it, and you play it again and you can't believe, and you're like, wow, did we really, saw that in real? I was like, so crazy. Like this winter, we had a storm, 18 hours, no food, no water, just keep moving, try to get out. So sometimes it's hard. And that day, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. That's the last year. But after 1 month here, I'm like, take me back to the ice. It makes you feel alive in a way, and you get addicted to it. At that stage, it's even more than a passion, it's an obsession. We can't live without that. When I'm out in the field, if there is some bad weather, I like to process a bit the images. First, it allows you to see what you got, what you are missing, see if you have any also technical issue with the cameras and you haven't seen it on a small screen or something like this. And also because I also like, for instance, for the still photography, I like to do some quick editing. It's like a draft, and I put the colors back from what I saw that day to try to be as accurate as possible with the reality of what I saw. But then obviously when I come back home, I do it on a bigger screen that is calibrated, and then, everything comes together. You can actually see us over there. That's me. And I'm not sure if my friends were here and if I paint. Yeah, I think maybe they were here. Oh, no? Yeah. So like my colleagues were over there. What I like about Lightroom is the workflow and the fact that I can have a mirror of what I have on my disk and organize my catalog and have like all the different shoots per year. So for me, like making the selection, make it really easy. And then of course the software itself is really powerful for the editing, and it's something I've been using since the beginning. We spend a lot of time, and that's the key. It's not just like we found it, we film it, we go back. It's time consuming to be out there, but we love it. It's just life, there's no stress, there's no rush for anything. There was this beautiful day. We were on the ice on the East Coast. The air is very crispy and shiny. The light just came back on the horizon, and it refracts on those frozen particles in the sky. The light is just insane. There was a huge male. It was so quiet. No sound, nothing. When this bear was breathing, there was like the steam coming out of his mouth. We called him Dragon Bear. We could hear him breathing. And it was like such a powerful moment. I had goosebumps like all over my body, and it was so incredible. Feel alive because there's a bit of a rush of adrenaline, but I never felt like I was in danger. They are really peaceful, they are slow, they smell always around them. They're very elegant, majestic. And I call them majestic in a way because they can be so delicate with the cubs when they are born. Like when they are born, they're 500 grams each, so they're very tiny. And then in a couple of months, they just become like the size of a dog, and then 2 years, they are big. There is a few times where I had tears watching so beautiful things happening, and then they freeze on your cheeks, because it's minus 20 or 30. The project that was really important was Frozen Planet 2. which for me was a big achievement because obviously I grew up with the documentaries from BBC and with David Attenborough, and now being able to have my footage with the voice of David and Hans Zimmer, knowing that your images would be seen by millions of people. Nature means everything. We are not a part of nature, we are part of it. If we reconnect more to nature and understand our place there, we would protect it, because you don't want to destroy a place where you are from. You don't want to destroy your family, your friends. Usually you want to protect it. So if we feel like we are part of nature, we would protect it instead of destroying it. We are initially animals. We have emotions, they have emotions, and they understand so much more than what we think, because we always think like only human can understand and feel things and emotions. But you can't bring everyone to the Arctic to realize that, so that's also what we're trying to do with bringing the stories to people. It's not just making photography because it's nice. It's really like trying to give a voice to nature and the one that can't talk.